Do you sometimes find yourself lacking motivation when it comes to photography and you can't really be inspired to go out and take your photos? And especially at this time of year when it's really dark, it's often wet, and at the moment it's currently freezing cold because we're having this cold snap across Europe now. And when I came out, it was 0, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. It's freezing, and this type of weather really doesn't help with your motivation to go out taking photos. And recently, I've noticed on social media, a few people have mentioned that they can't be bothered to go out with a camera. They haven't picked their camera up for a while. And it got me thinking that, sometimes we all lack a bit of motivation. Sometimes we all need a bit of inspiration, a bit of something to get us back. We know it'll come back, but sometimes we just need that little push. And if you're interested in ideas, I've got a few ideas you could think about on how to get your motivation back when it comes to photography. And I think there's a few things that you could consider when it comes to getting your mojo back, getting that motivation back for photography. And one of the obvious things, and something that I sort of discussed in my last video, was to, consider joining an online competition on social media, as an example. And I mentioned on my last video where we sort of host photography challenges on Instagram, and you can do all sorts of different competitions on Instagram or Facebook or any of the social media platforms, and that gives you a really nice sort of idea, lots of different things that you can go out and try and take pictures to. Another option you could consider, and something else I do, is join a photography club. So at photography clubs, they often put on regular monthly competitions where they set themes, they set ideas, not just taking pictures of things, but also about improving your photography. And you can get your motivation back just by joining in those competitions. Not only will you enjoy taking pictures based on the theme they're sharing, but if you attend these sessions, you can meet other photographers, like-minded people who can share their experience. And more often than not, they're really experienced photographers, and the more they're willing to help and share their advice to you. So it was a really, really good way of sort of getting out there, getting inspired and taking photos. Another thing you could consider doing, something I do often, and it sounds terrible, but you could call it plagiarize. So if I see another photographer in my area in Lincoln and they've taken a really nice picture, I really want to take that picture as well, get my version of it. So if I see someone doing something, seeing a picture, I try to do the same thing. And I've had that experience just recently. That's why I wanted to come out tonight. I was walking through the small shopping centre in Lincoln at the weekend, and I spotted in the corner a local Lincoln photographer had a stall out, and he was selling his images in frames. And I went over and had a look, of course, and had a chat with him. And Andy Scott is a well-known photographer in Lincoln, and I was sort of reminded of how good his photography is, and inspired by the photos he'd taken. A lot of his photos are pictures taken of Lincoln Cathedral, and from all different sorts of angles, and they're all stunning images. And that gave me a bit of an idea, gave me a bit of inspiration. I thought what I could do is set myself a challenge and try to take and post 30 pictures of the cathedral on Instagram in 30 days, or do the whole of December. And that's what I've decided to do, and that's what kind of I thought I'd come out and do in this video, is show you a few different shots of Lincoln Cathedral and give you a bit of an idea of what I'm likely to do. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'm hopeful from the beginning of December, you'll see that I'm going to post every day one picture a day of the cathedral from a different position, and hopefully you see how I've done. The cathedral dominates the city skyline. It's so huge in the middle of this little city. Not only that, but it dominates miles and miles around because it's so flat. And Lincoln's on a ridge. It sticks out for miles and miles away, and it's such a fantastic building. I think it's the third biggest church in the country, and I think personally it's the nicest, the most attractive. I think the cathedral is perfect for photography, not just because of its size, but also because there's so many different angles in the city of Lincoln you can use to take this picture. I don't think there's going to be 30, but there's possibly double figures, and you can go down all different sorts of streets and get a great shot of the cathedral from a different viewpoint. And that's what I intend to do. So in this video, if you want to come along with me, I'm going to go and take a couple of shots now while my fingers are still on. Even though I've got fingerless gloves on, I can tell you, I can hardly press buttons on my camera, so my fingers are so cold. I'll take a couple of photos now and I'll show you, and then I'll come out over the next few days, which certainly when it gets a little bit warmer, and try to get as many shots in different positions, in daytime, at night, all different sorts of things, and post them on Instagram. As I said, if you follow me on Instagram, fantastic. You can see what I'm doing. You can follow along. But I intend to start posting my pictures at the beginning of December. It's now I think it's the 20th. I can't remember what day it is today. So I've got a 10 days, let's say, to get some pictures ready, but I will have to come back out again and take some more. So that's my inspiration, my motivation, and that's what I'm going to do. If you're staying long enough to see me take some pictures of the cathedral and you haven't subscribed, why not consider subscribing? And I regularly post videos about photography and Instagram, and hopefully I'm providing you with some good information about both subjects. And if you have already subscribed, thank you very much indeed. This first shot is the iconic shot of the cathedral, and I've gone f4, 3.2 seconds. I'm on base ISO, and I've got a 2-second timer. So the cathedral's pretty much in the middle, and I'm going to take that shot. That shot is the picture that you see everybody taking a day or night, and it's in Castle Square, and it is just magnificent. Whatever you say, that is a magnificent shot. What I might do, I might just speed it up a little, take a slightly slower one, and then I can maybe reduce the highlights in the lights on the top of the cathedral, because I might combine the both of them. That would make sure that I get the exposure right. That's my first image. I'm going to go and find another one that I can show you. This is another iconic shot of the cathedral, and as you can see, the front facade is so big and it's so wide that my 17mm lens on my Olympus just isn't big enough, and I don't think my 12mm on my 12-40 is going to cut it either, and I'm probably going to have to use my phone or my video camera to get a picture. But I will do that. I'll take a picture of this at some stage in the next sort of week or two. But unfortunately, I'm not going to take this picture now. I'm going to go and find another one. This is an image I can take with my 17mm lens. Once again, I've gone for f4, and this is a 4-second exposure. I'm on a 2-second timer. I'm looking underneath this arch on the south transept, or the front south transept. I'll take that picture, and that is a really nice one to take. This one is definitely going to need a double exposure with the light around the arch, so otherwise it will be a bit dark. And I'll have to bring out the shadows too much and it'll look horrible. So I'm just going to lighten this up a little bit. Get my fingers on the right buttons. I'll just do almost a 3/4 of a stop. That should do me. That should be all right. So another shot of the cathedral is this one, looking at Michaelgate towards the wonky house, and there's this lamp on this side. You've got this bit of foliage on the right, and this is a classic shot of Lincoln Cathedral, and it's sleeting now, it's raining, so the cobbles on Michaelgate are all nice and glistening and reflecting. That's lovely. I've gone for 2.5 seconds, f4. I'm going to take that shot now. That's looking good. I've got the 17mm lens. From the position I'm in, I might have preferred to use 25mm. I might think about doing that. Once again, I'm going to overexpose a little bit, because I want to make sure I've got everything, all the dark bits light. That makes sense. Hopefully it does. So a little bit longer exposure. That should give me a nice photo. I think I might call it a day now, because I think I'm going to get soaked if I stay out any longer. I think it's time to end this video, because I have to admit I am freezing. My fingers feel like they're going to have frostbite on them, and it's just starting to sleet and rain, and here I am. I think it's really funny, because I'm talking to you about having motivation about coming out and taking photos, and what probably is the worst night of the year to come out and take photos. But if I can do it in this weather, you can do it in any weather as well. You can do it too. Thank you very much indeed for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then why not give it a like? That'd be amazing if you did. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheerio.